Casper here. This video is today is just me messing around with my game Stab. I've picked it up again, and there are various reasons to that. I've been in a bit of a game crisis with Stab. I didn't know which direction to take it and changed it a lot around, and I wasn't satisfied and blah blah blah. But after doing the OD&D campaign, or it sounds like I'm stopping it, I'm not. This is just a video about me showing off Stab and where it is now, and some game design and whatnot, and testing out stuff. Yeah, during the course of learning OD&D, and the way I looked at armor class and weapons, categorizing armor and weapon, I thought maybe I could use that in Stab. And I was fiddling around with how your armor class could and a number could affect less or more damage. So what happened is that I sort of stumbled upon the game Bind, that sort of had these similar mechanics to I was sort of looking into, but then I had a realization, sort of, that what if I make this Stab a sort of almost free Kriegspiel Renaissance like game instead, because I really prefer rules light role-playing games. And can we boil it? How much can we actually boil a role-playing game down? That has always been a sort of my own quest. Okay, so what Bind does is that I'm not completely 100% sure what it is Bind. I know what Bind does, but in the nitty-gritty details I don't. It's based around that you have 2d6, and because 2d6 are weighted around that, the most normal outcome of a 2d6 is 7. So it can either be in favor for you, or in what's the opposite of that? Favor? I don't know. Be in not favor for you. I lost the English word for the opposite of favor. So essentially, when you attack, you roll 2d6, and if you are, this is the basics of it, and if you're over 7, you do the damage, and if you're under, you receive damage. But it's a bit more complicated than that, because you add all sorts of stuff. Because it was really similar to the ideas that I had, I thought, why not take a look at Bind, but make it even more rules light. And I thought, okay, let me take my to hit system, mine, I don't know, from OD&D that I came up with during play, and combine it with that idea that the monsters can attack you on your attack. So there's one especially one sentence that I would say I've really inspired from in Bind, and that is actually or inspired, I'm using it, that is that if you roll equal to, that sort of really was the key to me to unlocking my own system, because when you roll equal to, the attacker can decide whether both take a blow or none take a blow. And I really like that idea. So that sort of unlocked my whole my own system here. So, because I don't roll an extra die to do damage, what happens is, and I'll show you through play, is that if you roll under, you receive 1 point of damage. If you roll over, you do 1 point of damage instead. So you have now instead we have life points instead, sort of small hearts, or yeah, just it's never mind the hearts, but it's, I thought it was cute. Life points instead, and they are of course much lower than you would get in a normal role-playing game. If you crit in this game, you do 2 points of damage, except if you have a large weapon, which does 3 points of damage. So that's basically it, and it's really streamlined now. So I've been fiddling around with the character sheet here on an index card. I thought we could try and make a random character together, and use these two guys in a little setting or a little dungeon or something, and try and play it out. So we're making another character here, and I'll explain the rules as we go along. I should say this is still it feels, Stabs feels done now actually, but I need, because I had another version of Stab with other illustrations, it has no illustrations now. I took them all out because I had another visual idea of Stab. So that's that. It's sort of quite clean right now with no illustrations. Yeah, and there are sort of subtle differences in the, of course, not subtle, they are very different, the classes. But for instance, the fighter, the guy I rolled here, Alger, he has some specials and some abilities. And fighters always have 3 attacks. That is one thing. And cleric types have 2, and so does tricksters in my game, which are sort of your thief. Yeah, and yeah, you'll see as we go along. Let's make this completely random. Maybe I should get Stab up. So this is the cover of Stab. This is just a placeholder cover I made, because I'm going to draw it with Posca brushes on a black piece of cardboard, I've decided, and run some small tests. So it should be more handmade than this. This is just made in Clip Studio Paint. But this is the idea behind it, at least. So let's head down to how to roll a character. It's a bit small here on my side, so I have a bit trouble reading it. But what you basically do is that you roll 5d6 when you roll your ability scores, and you read each die. So we're going to write them here under Stab, and the letters stands for strength, toughness, agility, brains, and exclamation mark. Exclamation mark is your presence, willpower, and awareness. So it's a bit like Yahtzee. Those are really good rolls, or it's a good this is a good result, I should say. That is insane. So let's see here. So 3 and 4 give 0, and 5 and 6 give +1. So we have 2 zeros and 3 +1. That is really good. This is a strong character. So let's see, we're not going to have a fighter. Maybe we should have a... Let's try and make a wizard. At some point in my document I called them sorcerers, so some of the text isn't really corrected yet. But if we are going to make a wizard, we're going to have brains. So we'll take +1 here. And let's see, +1 in exclamation mark, and why not +1 to agility and 0 in these two. So oh, you know what, if I make a, let's make a third character also then, because then if I'm wizard I can only be human, and we should try one of the other classes. So, or races I should say. So we have kin here. It's what humans are called flatlanders, and they have an ability. They have +1 on force open doors, thought, and they also, humans start with a curse. I haven't looked into that yet. A curse is because the humans are damned in this setting, but the curse has some has an advantage and some disadvantages. But humans have that as a special ability. That's taken from another game of mine, but I like that idea. So I need a curse. We don't know what it is yet. And then let's see if we're going. Yeah, we're going to make a wizard. So let's go down to the wizard. Yeah, see here, there's sorcerer still. But I'm just slowly changing this document. And it also says short sword here. That is actually just a sword. They cannot wear any form of armor, so they have light armor. No armor is the same as light armor in my game. Weapon, let's give him a sword. He seems like that kind of guy who can use a sword also. Number of attacks, he has 1. But you'll see later how powerful this wizard is. Then you have life points. He starts with 2 and he has no bonus. Maybe I should have taken instead of agility actually, because if you have +1 in toughness, you start with 1 more life point. So I'm going to do it like this. So he has 3 life points. Let's just draw 3 hearts. And let's go down to the wizard's spells. I'm still considering whether they should have all spells to begin with, because in Stab it's a bit more like a board game where you have, and also I should say that Stab is also sort of inspired from the rules, the board game Dungeon. Hence the numbers and the 2d6 and whatnot. I can probably get into that later. So we have a handful of spells and not a tome of spells. So we have Animate Object, Blitz, which is lightning, Fireball, Invisibility, Teleport, and then they have another wizard's ability down here called Alchemy, but that is not a spell. I'm thinking about adding a few more spells so that you can choose 2 to begin with, and then you add 1 each time you level. That is the idea that I have. At least I think I will go with that. So let's just choose 2 now. And I kind of like Animate Object and Fireball. So let's take those. Animate Object and Fireball. Then I can of course also cast spells, but I don't need to write that. And then we got Alchemy. So he is a wizard. level 1. Oh, I need to make room for spell points as well. Spell points. Maybe I can put it up here. SP. He has 2. No, sorry. 1 plus his brain. So he has 2 spell points. Yeah. Guess that's it. Let's roll a name for this toon. I'm using freebooters of the on the frontier just to roll names. I like those tables. Is it a male or female? It's a female Flatlander, and she has, or her name is, I should say, Eswart. Eswart the Elegant. I don't know. Something. For this little purpose of this game, I'm not going to buy equipment. Because this is just a test. So let's make one more. And let's make this another race than humans. So let's see, we have name. We have the ability scores, STAB exclamation mark. We have kin, class, and level. And yeah, we actually need room for experience points, but for this purpose we don't really need it. I need to write, we don't know if this is a character is going to have spell points or not, so we're going to write spell points and then life points, and here number of attacks. And what else do we need? Oh yeah, weapon and armor and specials here. So let's roll the 5 ability scores. Okay, so this is a mediocre guy. Wow. He has 0 all the way. Cool. That is quite cool. They don't have that much of an impact on the game, I should say. Not really. Not really. It's just nuances. Kin. So let's, I don't know, we have, let's see, let's get the document up. We have, and let's say this is not a human, so we have elves with the Danish A. Then we have hillfolk and dour men. So your classic hillfolk is your hobbit. So this is just sort of vanilla with flavor plus. So I guess it's a 3-sided die, right? Let's do it. Let's do it. So it's a dour man, but is it a man or woman? It's a woman. So dour man, female. Class. What can dour men be? They can be fighter, cleric, peddler, and trickster. Ooh. Ooh. So we already have a fighter. So let's roll a 4-sided. 3. So I meant not a four-sided, of course. What? I caught it in midair. Anyways, it's a three-sided. So cleric, peddler, or trickster. It's a trickster. Kind of easy to make. So let's look at the Dour Man special abilities. We have Hammer Time. And Hammer Time is +1 in damage versus orcs, goblins, and hobgoblins. And then we have Sturdy, +1 life point at every other level, and +1 to all danger saves. So we don't get the extra heart yet. Let's see how many. Oh, let's just scroll down to see the trickster, how many life points they have, and attacks. They have 2 attacks. Life points they have 3. I don't get any bonus. I don't get any spell points if I'm a trickster. Let's go back up again. So 1 life point at every other level. That is to say though that you do increase 1 life point per level, but at every other levels, Dour Man gets 2. So I have +1 to danger saves. And then I have Lantern Eyes. So I can see, or dwarf Dour Man can see 30 feet, but if there's a lantern or torch lit, they can see 60. So in total darkness 30, and with the light source 60. Then they also have an ability called Pebble Song. Once per day, Dour Man can command rocks to do their bidding. Example, Gratia. Form a pit trap into the ground. Make a doorway where there was none before. Block a doorway with rocks. Start a ravine, or make rocks fall. That is kind of the same. I meant roof, I think. The limits should be within the before mentioned, but up to your creativity. So we have Pebble Song. Okay. Great stuff. And inventory is on the back. We don't really need it. Oh, and it's, what did I say? It's a class was Trickster. So we need to go down to the Trickster. Level 1. What? And the Trickster is kind of straightforward. The Trickster rely too much on their stealth to use armor heavier than light. But they can use a shield should they wish. Okay. Tricksy crits. When the Trickster rolls a 12 on the on an attack roll, he does 3 points of damage. That is a... I think that is... I wanted to change that. I think I wanted him to get another attack actually. He gets another attack. So, Tricksy crits. Tricksy crits. So, okay. A name for this gal. Her name will be, let's find it, dwarf female. 22 is Fasina. Lovely. So we have Algar, human fighter, and we have Eswart, female flatlander, wizard, level 1, with a sword and light armor. Oh yeah, Fasina's armor was also light. And her weapon, I'm thinking I want to add here that tricksters cannot use heavy weapons. Armor and weapon. Tricksters cannot use heavy weapons. So that is two-handers. Okay, or two-handers where you have to use both hands. So, do we want to give a bow to any of these guys? I think we want to give a bow to Fasina. Oops, I wrote it the wrong place. Light armor. Let's not give her a shield. Let's give her a hammer then. Hammer and plus bow. Okay. So it's quite, as you see, it's quite effortless to make characters in this game. And I mean, they don't require much space. There's even space here for a character portrait or whatnot. I could, of course, have made experience points somewhere. But one sec. I need to cough badly. Oh, one little important thing I forgot about tricksters, of course, is that they have tricksy skills, or they don't actually, or they do, depending how you look at it. Let's write it here. With tricksy skills, it's sort of, whenever your character is, and you have a trickster, is doing something tricksy, he gets +1 to his rolls. +1. And the basic of this game is that you, whenever you're trying to do something, you're rolling over a target number. So let's say, the target number is usually 8. It can be lower or higher, depending on the difficulty. So each time they're trying something, they roll the die and add, in this case, +1. So it's of course up to the referee or the GM or whatever, the dungeon master, to decide what a tricksy skill and approve it if the player character tries to do something tricksy. So it's sort of more free form, right? Yeah. I guess that's it. One example, for instance, I could tell you about, I don't know why I thought about that. Doors, for instance, are a bit harder to get up, so they are, you have to roll 9 or more to get a door up. That's just, you know, that's just a little, there's some minor differences here and there. But of course, as a referee, you can also say that it's a little easier door to open and lower the target number, or a much harder door. Yeah, so that's that. Okay. I think we should just use Level Drain's online version of the Osric dungeon generator and then just do some dungeoneering and see if this game actually sort of works. Yeah, so I thought it could be funny just to use Dungeon Scroll today, just to have it, yeah, I don't know, just, it could be fun just to use Dungeon Scroll today. I've used it sometimes in the past. So we can go from there, let's see, here, that is in the middle. Yeah, something like that. And then we can just roll in the tray over here and have the character sheets out and about. I do actually wish I had like a colored piece of carton, so I could make a green screen on my table. That would be awesome. So I can just roll on the table. Maybe I should look one up to see if I have one. Oh well, I couldn't find any. Let's just, oh, hi Ruth. It's my cat. Nope. Whoppy. Thank you. We are in the first room here. And let's say we have... Who's going to carry the torch then? I bet it's Esward. So she has, let's just write it here. Yeah, you can't see it. Never mind that. Equipment. She has 6 torches. So that's fixed. So one thing we could do actually in Dungeon Scroll is that we could put a light source on the, so we can see actually where we are going, like that. So it's a pretty huge light source, but let's just use it like this. Okay, so we come in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. We are in here now. And the question is, which door do we take? So let's take, I don't know, just take this one up here. So they walk up here. There's no wandering monster rolls here. Is it a bit dark? So they listen at the door, and let's just say the target number is 8, and they can use the exclamation mark to roll or to add. And let's have Esward roll this. She's going to listen at the door. They can all try. So that's 7, 8. Yes. She hears if there's anything behind the door. What is behind the door? One might ask. A straight passage. So they're trying to force up the door, and as I said, doors are difficulty 9, and Flatlanders get +1 to this, and if you have a bonus you can even add that. So let's see here. Thought. Alger tries, he has +2, I need a 9. He could not. So let's say it's let's try with Fascina, and let's try Esward first. That's 9, yeah, +1. No, not +1, but it's 9, so she gets the door up. So walking around the room, getting the door up, I'm going to say it takes, whoops, a turn. And behind this door there is a straight passage. So we are going to make a straight passage. And let's see, how is it again that you open doors? Let me see if I can figure that out. Yeah, let me add spikes. And it's going to be, let's say it's Fasina who has spikes. She has 12 spikes. So all in all, we're spiking the door and getting the door up. Takes that full turn. So we walk down here, and what do we see here? We find a side passage. See table 21. Check this passage again in 30 feet. Side passage. Left 90 degrees, and the passage width is 30 feet. Wow. So first of all, the passage continues 30 feet, but it also turns to the left. So first off, we're going to add, so here at the 1, 2, 3, 4, it's actually here. So 1, 2, 3, so it's here, like that, and then it said it continued 30 feet up. So that must be here actually. And this is, it looks like a room, but it's actually a corridor. Where did my light bulb go? Oh, here it is. So we can either walk up to here. The strength of that light bulb is quite intense, so let me just see, can we make it smaller and add a new one? Okay, that was a little too let's just delete those and make a new one. Okay, that is even worse. Okay, I don't know, that is better at least. So, oh, this here needs to be a bit bigger. Like that. The question is, do we go this way or this way? Let's have a dice decide. 1, 2, left. Yeah, so it's north. We go north. Up here. And what do we have up there? A door. Consult table 19. The door is ahead. Okay. We are going to add a little door. And we are going to, actually, by my rulings of this generator, I put one more segment in. So let's see. They are up here. They're going to listen at the door. I need an 8. Don't hear anything. Who's rolling now? Let's say it's Fasina, so she can hear something behind. Maybe I should increase this difficulty. You know what I'm going to say from now on? It's also 9+. Listening at doors. Let's re-roll it. Seems a bit easy. Let's have Algar first. Yeah, okay. So he hears something, if there is something. So what's behind this door? A passage 45 degrees left. Okie. So we are going to open the door and spike the door. Alga, no. 6, no. And no. Okay, so when it doesn't work for all three, I'm going to say take a turn, and then we have to do a wandering monster check. On a 6, we have a wandering monsters. So we are going to spike this door up and try it again. Eswart first. Oops, sorry, I need to roll in over this one over here. That's 8, nope. Fasina has plus nil. Yes, Fasina gets the door up. So, I think the hinges are on the other side of this door here now. So we lose one more spike, and that takes a turn all in all to spike it. So we are down to 10 spikes. And the party continues this way. Just wondered about the door here. Oopsie. Weird. So, what's up there? We want some action soon. General table. Another door. Oh. It's also ahead. What is this? Madness. So I'm going to say that it's... Okay, if it's one segment, what I'm going to do from this is much easier to do it like this. I'm going to say it's like this. Let's see. And then there is a door ahead. Here, I guess. That is the way I choose to do it. So, let's see. Let's listen at the door. Let's start with one who is good at listening. Eswart. 7, 8, nope, not enough. Fasina. Nope. Algar. Yeah, Algar can definitely hear something if there is something. What is behind this door? Let's do this. We have a room, finally. So, what is this? The size of this room? 20 by 20. Let's just put it here, perhaps. Like that. And we listened already. Let's try and force the door up. Let's have Algar try that. He has +2, he needs a 9. Yes. Goes in on the first go. Let's say we can first spike it. You know, we can spike it up via a spike. So via a spike. So let's move the hinges of this door, and we come into this room here. Oopsie, let's just zoom in perhaps. We are here. And let's do this. What is the room content? Let's hope it's something interesting for us so we can have a fight. Number of exits. 4 exits. You know what, I am just going to put some doors down. Let's have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And what else? Nothing else. The content. It is empty, but we're spending a turn investigating the room, so we have a wandering monster check. I actually rolled a 6. So while we are investigating the room, something sneaks up onto us. And what can that be? Let's use the... Which one do we take? I kind of like this one in Swords and Wizardry. So we're just going to use that one. Level 1 of the dungeon. We get skeletons, 1d6 skeletons. We have 1 skeleton. So, what I'm going to say is that skeletons are sort of a level 1 creature, but what I'm thinking is that they are, because in this game we are divided into classes, and I'm going to call a skeleton a fighter. So I'm going to say he has 3 attacks, but I am going to say that he has light armor. So let's try and do this somewhere here. 1 sec. So, and he also has a sword perhaps, and maybe let's give him a shield. So he has light armor, 3 attacks, light weapon, because swords are light. And let's say that he has, because he's a level 1 creature, let's say he has 2 hearts. Because the weakest character in this game start with 2 hearts. So. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll to see if we are surprised. That is just the OD&D rules for now. The skeleton is surprised. Whoop, whoop, whoop. He comes walking down the corridor. Maybe from the southern corridor there. And let's see. Initiative is the following. It's rolled by 1d6. 1 to 3 is the party. 4 through 6 is the monsters. We win initiative. So, oh yeah, let's wait with that. We have a surprise round first. So what I'm going to say is that the rules I introduced here in a surprise round does not count. So if we miss, we just miss, because it's a surprise round. But let's see. Okay. Let's get 2d6 out. And let's just say our fighter starts. Because why not? So it's Algar. Okay. So he has 3 attacks. This is his first attack. He hits and it's above, so it's 1 in damage. So the skeleton takes 1 damage. I've crossed out its heart here. His next attack, 6, or let me actually show you what he needs to hit. So it's a light weapon attacking against a light armor. So I just need 7, but I don't have any pluses to this roll, and that is because strength does not give bonus to the rolls. It gives you allowance on what sort of weapon you can use. I'll more about that later. So there's no bonus. So in reality here, normally I would have taken 1 heart, but because this is a surprise round, I'm going to say that because the skeleton is surprised, he cannot retaliate back due to the normal rules. So it's Algar's last attack. 9, that hits, it's dead. But it is just a skeleton, so they are quite weak. I am using a similar system to OD&D experience points wise. So in this case, a level 1 creature would yield 100 experience points. So we each earn that. So 100 XP. I'm going to add that to each and everybody's character sheet. That was quite easy. So which route are we going to take? Oh, let's say took a turn and we need to rest. So we actually need to roll for, that was 1 torch down. I have this little thingy I made here, so we have 5 torches left. And we need to do another wandering monster roll. As we are resting, we are interrupted by more skeletons. It was just a scout they sent ahead. Great. So that's really great. How many skeletons? It's going to be really silly if it's 1 more. 4 skeletons this time. So I'm going to write a little column of hearts here. There we go. Are any sides surprised? The skeletons are surprised again. And so we get a free round of attacks. So let's just say we start with the fighter. That makes sense to me. We could have started with in reality, let's say that I think Fascina walks around with her bow. So it's sort of the same thing. A bow, she has a short bow, so that is a light weapon, because in this game, like OD&D, combat is phased. So we have movement first and missile fire if movement and missile fire if somebody chooses to shoot. Especially the elf characters have an advantage here. They have what is called split fire, and they can shoot twice before melee, or shoot and move, or move and shoot. We don't have an elf, but I'm going to say, because it's movement first, so each side moves, but we first. But in this round, because it is the prize round, the skeletons are not allowed to move. So before I walk up into melee, we're going to have Fasina shoot her bow. I don't have any rules for crushing damage or anything, so I'm just going to say that a normal arrow can hurt a skeleton. So she is going to, she's the light weapon versus light armor, so she needs a 7. She hits. Oh, no. Okay, so the thing here is that what is happening here, when you roll equal to, the attacker can decide if both sides take damage, that is what would normally have happened, or none take damage. But because this is a surprise round, I'm going to say it's 1 point of damage. So she actually has one more attack, so she can shoot another arrow. 8. That's one more. She kills a skeleton. So now it's Esward. I should mention skeletons are quite weak. If you think, whoa, they're dying. We also had surprise. So Alger with his 3 attacks. That's a hit. A miss. Normally that would have injured him. So no damage to the skeleton. His last attack, it's a hit. He kills one more skeleton. So now we just have Esward back or left. She is not going, or is she? I should have said that. She's going to prepare a spell, because why not? Then we have then this round, because he only has 1 attack or action. So now we need to roll initiative. These skeletons won initiative. Who are they attacking? I think I should. We're all in a pretty small room. So 1 is Alger, I'm going to say. 2 is Fasina, and 3 is Esward. The first skeleton attacks Alger. This skeleton has 3 attacks as well. Alger has, let's see, medium armor and a shield. So it needs, let's look at this little table here. It has a light weapon and attacking medium armor. It needs an 8. So here we go. First attack of skeleton. 11. So that is actually a hit and would have done 1 point of damage to Alger. But the rules say that if you carry a shield, you can neglect a hit, but you lose an attack. So I should remember that. So I choose to do that, so I'm going to block the next attack of the skeleton. Okay. So what happens here, I haven't decided thoroughly upon this yet, but this is a crit. Large weapons do 3 damage, smaller weapons do 2 damage. So this would actually be 2 damage. However, I still would be able to have 1 block, but I think I'm going to say that you can't block crits. That is what we're going with now, at least. So actually, Alga has taken 2 points of damage. Its last attack, wow. If he chooses to block now, he only have one attack on his turn. He chooses to do that. So no point of damage, but he only then have 1 attack left when it's his turn. Next one attacks Alga as well. This is the last skeleton. It misses, so the skeleton takes damage. It hits again. Oh, you know what? It can block if it wants to, but then it only have it chooses to block, so it only has 1 attack left, but it has not taken any damage, so it chooses to block. Its last attack. Shit. Alga is getting beaten here. So, as I said, cannot block crits. So he takes 2 more damage. Good thing that he's a fighter. Yes. So that was the 2 skeletons. So now it's our turn, and Alga does only have 1 attack left. Let's hope it's a good one. He needs a 7. Yes, that's 11, so that's just only 1 hit. And because they used all their attacks, they cannot block now. So that's 1 hit. So Alga is out of attacks, so now it's Fasina. She can drop her bow and run over with her hammer. I'm going to say that. She has 3 hearts actually. I need to, and she has 2 attacks. Yeah, she should actually have moved before the melee, but never mind that. So she's going to attack. She has a hammer. What is that actually? Let me refer to my document. I am actually going to say that that is a light weapon. So, okay, so that's light weapon versus light armor. It's a 7. They cannot block anymore. 11, so that's 1 point of damage, and he kills 1 skeleton by that blow. He has another attack. 9. He strikes 1 more. They have no blocks left. It only has 1 life point left. The last skeletons do not have morale, so they're not going to flee. I think Eswart, seeing this, is going to step up and try and hit the skeleton. She is light weapon also with a sword, and she needs just to roll more than 7, hopefully. Yes, she kills the remaining skeleton. So that's another 400 XP. I think we're just going to stop here. I think I have demonstrated the rules now. Let me remove this thingy here. I think I have sort of demonstrated the rules, and yeah, I really like it myself, at least so far. It's really rules light, but this was just a small demonstration. So I hope you liked it too. Yeah, you can see he's quite injured. You know what? I forgot we actually wanted to cast a spell with Esward, but never mind that. Shall we maybe say that after each fight, I haven't decided on this yet, you can rest and get 1 heart back. I think that would only be fair. Yeah, something like that. Thank you very much for watching. This was me playing my own game, Stab. Hope you liked it. Tune in for more OD&D actual play. I might actually, if you're watching this and you're following my videos, I might actually take a wee break because I've been quite busy recording. So, and a wee break means 3 to 4 days break. But anyways, I might do some small recordings in between. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.